Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I'm in my craft room just playing around, and I just had an idea that I wanted to play with splatters and layers. So that's probably what I'm going to name this video because I have no idea what else to name it. And I want to just try some different splatters and different layers on my cards. And so today's cards are probably going to be different than my typical cards, but I thought we'd give it a try. So I'm going to be using this little stamp set that I ordered from Crafty Stamp Co. It's called Hare in Your Cake. It's kind of a pun, you know, because hair like bunny. And so I've gone ahead and colored a bunch of the images in. I had a lot of fun coloring these in and the other night. So this is a few that I colored in. And then I've stamped that one out so you can see what it looks like. And then here is the cake one right here that you can see. And then there's a couple of little, is that confetti maybe? Little spirals. I don't know if you can see those. I might use those on the card today. There's one right there. Maybe you can see that. And then I'm going to be using, for the first card, I'm going to be using the black and white birthday. So my plans is to make 2 cards today. We'll see how long this takes. If it takes too long, then we may not get to the second card. But my plans is to create 2. Now I'll be using different paper for the next one. But this is what I'm using for the first one. So I want to start out, I've gone ahead and cut some layers and things, but first what I want to do is add some splatters to my cardstock. So I've cut this white cardstock to 3 3/4 by 5. And so it's just one of my layers. And so I'm just going to take and I'm just going to block off a little bit of the cardstock because I kind of want my splatters to go up through the center here. And I've got a block here that I've put black on and pink on, and I didn't want them to combine, and they've ended up touching each other some. So I'm going to try to get right here where the pink hasn't got into the black, or the black hasn't got into the pink, because I'm thinking I want pink splatters on the front, but I've got the black out because if I don't like the pink, then I will use the black. So we can always just add the splatters, turn the paper over if we don't like the pink with it, and do the black. So, and this is just scrap. I'm trying to use up some of my scrap bin papers. So, oops, that's not the splatter I was going for, but we're going to leave it. I like the randomness of splatters anyway, so we're going to just leave that and not worry about it. I kind of wanted a big splatter though on the top, but that is a bit much. But what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. So that's why I brought out the pink and black. I think is what I was talking about, because I wasn't sure. I'm also using my scraps. So I'm going through my scrap bin and using papers out of it. So I'll show you in a minute what I've cut out for this card. But let me dry this. I'll set it aside and let it dry real quick while I'm telling you about the pieces. So I've got this background piece that I cut from the black and white birthday paper, and I'm going to use that behind it. And I've cut out this little rectangle. It measures 1 3/4 by 1, 2, 3.5. I didn't measure anything. I just started cutting and getting it the sizes that I thought I wanted. I cut this tag out, and all I did was I cut a piece of white scrap paper. I clipped the corners with my punch, but you could clip it with your scissors. And then I've gone ahead and added this eyelet to it. And it measures, let me see if I can find a spot where I can see. It measures 2.5 by 1, 2, 3, 3.5. So that's what size that is. And then I've cut out, so I'm going through my dies lately, and I'm trying to use dies that I bought and never used, or dies that I received and I used maybe one time or never used. So I'm trying to go through those and actually use them. So this is an older die, and I don't think it's available anymore. Everything that I use, I will list below if it is still available, but some things are really old, and so I won't be able to find those for you anymore. But if you don't have, this is just a frame die. If you don't have a frame die, if you just have 2 rectangle dies that, you know, the ones you could buy that are different layers and different sizes, you can use 2 different rectangles to create a frame as well in your die cutting machine. And so this is the centerpiece. So I ran it through again with the black and white cardstock so that I could cut out the centerpiece to fit perfectly, because it does have those round edges. And then these are some banner dies that I have. And so this die was really a lot longer, but this was a scrap piece that I had, and I didn't need it. I don't even need it this long. So I just cut it out with the banner on one side. And then this is the banner piece that I cut out using the same paper as this. And like I said, this was all in my scrap bin. So it's from recent projects. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and use my heat tool to dry this, and then I'll be right back. So while I was drying the splatters, I got to thinking, I'm not sure if I even mentioned at the beginning of the video, but today we're going to try some different techniques with splatters as well as the layers. But we, I want to stamp my sentiment first, but I'm going to test stamp it. I have tested it before, and it looks like it's straight. It should be in the same spot. We'll just hope it is so we don't mess up our paper, but let me go ahead. I'm going to stamp it in black. And it's a sentiment from that stamp set, and it is Happy Birthday, which I think is a really cute sentiment for the bunny stamps. So let's just see here. I think I'll stamp it one more time. I am terrible at getting my wording always even. So I like to use the platform, but I still get it crooked in the platform. Okay, that looks really cute. Okay, so we got that on there. So let's go ahead and add our layers. So I've been using this little awl here to get all those little bits out. So now we have our, let's lay everything out first. So I know I need to cut this in half because I've already been testing it all and it sticks out too far. So I'm going to cut, what I'm going to do is just cut a little off of each side. That way it will fit where I need it to. So I have this rectangle. I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want everything. And I do like the splatters. So then I'm going to layer this up here. I think for some reason I've been wanting to play with layers lately, and I've been wanting to do more mixed media lately where I'm using my paints and inks and creating different backgrounds as well. And so I've really enjoyed doing that. I have a video recently where for the, let's see, what's it? The Crafty Crew kit, where I used the stencils and stamps and ink and created my own background paper for some of the cards. So if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check it out, especially if you're interested in any type of mixed media and creating your own backgrounds. And since I'm just getting started in it, then, you know, I've created backgrounds before, but I'm not done a lot of it. So since I'm really just getting into it, you should be able to follow along easily if you're a beginner, because, you know, I am a beginner. And you should be able to get yours to work just the same. I do like that eyelet layer. I did go looking for some thread or ribbon or anything to tie a bow, but I don't have any black that's going to work for this, so I'm just going to leave that. I do like the pink splatters. I had thought about doing black splatters because there is black on here, but I think I like the pink splatters. I think that adds to it. So this is my layers, and I'll have to be sure when I do the banner that I get that straight since I did chop it. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing things down, and then we'll finish layering it up because there's more layers to go. I think these layers are a lot of fun, and I'm just going to keep going through. I want to organize my, or I need to organize all of my dies and stencils and stamps. Everything needs organizing because I have them in different little bins, but it's kind of gotten chaotic. Let me wipe some of this off. I got too much. Kind of wipe it back away from the corner so it doesn't ooze out. But it's kind of got out of control in my craft room. So I want to organize it. But as I'm organizing, I also want to pull out some of the dies and things that I haven't ever really used a lot of. I was thinking about it last night. I was watching somebody create a card. Can't remember who now. I was watching YouTube as I was falling asleep. And I realized they were creating something, and I didn't have the exact die that they had. They had a newer die that just come out this year from a company, and I was like, wait a minute, I have a similar die that I received, I don't know if it was probably a couple of years ago, and I don't think I ever even used it. If I did, I used it one time. So I'm like, okay, I need to start pulling out all these dies and using them and creating more with them, and try not to get as much new stuff, but new stuff is fun. So that's what I've kind of told myself I was doing, is some of the new stuff that I get, I'm using the old dies with it and making those old dies new again, because using them with the new stuff just changes it up a bit. Now this one has so many holes that I am with this glue, I'm going to get me a different glue bottle to put some of this glue in that has the little, I may have one still in my drawer. I had some before, but I don't know if I'm out or not. But I'm going to put this where it has a smaller nozzle so it doesn't ooze out so much on these little die cuts, because I do like die cutting. I've always loved die cutting, and I found myself over the last year or so really getting into die cutting more. And so I think it's a lot of fun. I'm trying to get this, make sure this frame is kind of straight. It doesn't have to be perfect. I love that on there. I think that looks pretty. Okay, so then I'm going to add this background piece in my frame. And then let's see here. There we go. And I don't know if you can see on camera, but it says party time, more cake, balloons, fun times, party. So it's definitely a birthday party kind of piece of paper. I did get a little paint on it. It must have been over to the side. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to add this banner here. And I just want it to stick to go to the edge. So I'm going to add a little glue to it. I'm going to start with this side. Then we'll line them up. I love using banners. Now, I use this banner die all the time. You've probably seen me use it a lot. Because a lot of times I use this one for my sentiments. And I probably need to quit using it so much for my sentiments because all my cards are going to be the same. But I really love banner dies. I just really love this one. And so it was the first banner die that I owned. And I haven't got another one since. I've just been using it. And there's different sizes in it, but it's not a big variety, but still it's enough that I haven't found that I needed, any more. Oh, look at that. I just made a mess. I will clean that up in just a minute. Let's just get this lined up before it dries. And I want it pretty much to the edge like that one is. And since it was too long, that's why I cut it, because it would have just hung over too far. So I thought let's just cut it, and you're not going to see that in there anyway. And I think it lines up, doesn't it? Try and just line all the edges up. Let me find my little rag and clean that up. Okay, so now our next layer is going to be this, I do believe, yes. I'm going to layer that right there. Kind of want to do the same distance from the side and the bottom, I do believe. The tag kind of gets lost in it, but I think that's okay. The splatters help it to show some. But here we go. Yeah, and right here, that eyelet is going to make it stick up a little bit, I do believe. I could have popped it up, I guess, but I didn't really want to. Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull it down just a little there. Over. That's a good thing about using wet glue, is you got a few minutes to work with it. Okay, so I like how that looks. So then this little banner, is it crooked? There we go. Okay, so then this little banner, I want to put like right in here. And I like that there, so I'll just trim it off once I put it on. So I'm going to trim it flush with the edge. Okay, so we're just going to layer that against the edge here. And I'm putting it right across the bottom of that frame, so you can still see the whole frame is just covering up the bottom edge of it. And it gets lost a little bit right there, but I think it'll be okay. Just experimenting with layers, and with this paper and this little stamp set, I don't think you could have an ugly card anyway. I've never really seen an ugly card. Most cards I see I like anyway. A handmade card I always love because it's handmade. It's that person's ideas and that person's thoughts of how they're going to put something together and their design. So I don't think it's ugly because everybody's art is different, but I think it's a lot of fun. So I think that looks cute right there. So let's just add a little bit of glue to him. I'm not going to pop anything up on this card. I'm just going to glue everything flat. And when I chose my colors, I had gone ahead and colored these bunnies to match a different paper pack. So I had planned to use a different one. So when I chose my colors, get him down there before I keep talking. When I chose my colors for this card, I went off of the colors, like that pink in his hat is why I chose all this pink here. And so if it had been, if I had used this guy, I probably would have went off of the blue in his hat. But I think that's a cute card. And so now I pretty much am done. I think I'm just going to layer it on here, and then I can just layer this piece onto a piece of white card base. So what I did was I cut this to be the same size as, well, did I cut this the same size as a white card base? No, this will be actually framed out by the white card base. I did not think about that. So let me just put this on here, and then I'll go get the white card base. So the black piece measures 4 by 5 1/4. That is cute. I love all those layers. Now, I could have each layer popped up, but it would have been a really thick card. Don't know if I have a card base handy. I've run out of card bases, so I'm having to make my own. I'm going to pause and make me a card base. Well, I'm always trying to share things, so I might as well show you. If you are new to card making, if you are not new to card making, you know this already. But if I try to make my videos so it's for newbies as well as people who's always been making cards. It's always in hopes that you get ideas no matter what. So for the new ones though, I wanted to show you, if you want to make your own card bases instead of buying them, all you have to do is take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cards, white cardstock or whatever color you want to use, and you're just going to put it with the 11-inch side to the top of your paper trimmer. Let me pull it down here so you can see. And then you're going to cut at 5 1/2. And you're just cutting that in half, and then you'll just fold it in half and you have your card bases. I used to make all of my own card bases and I never bought card bases, but the past couple of years I have been buying card bases. Sometimes they're not that expensive and it helps out if I'm making a bunch of cards at one time. So then we're just going to layer that on top of there. And I think that is a very cute little card. It's simple. It's not real fancy. It's not, but it's, I don't know, it's simple, but it's cute. I like it. I like the layers and just the white background there with the splatters. And I think it turned out really good. So I am happy with this card. Or I am happy with this card. Play around with these words, right? So, there you go. Let me hold it up to you so you can see it. I think that's really cute. That'll make a fun birthday card for somebody. So, I like that. So, let's go ahead and create one more card. And let's try a different technique for splatters. So, I'm going to have to clean up a little bit here. And then we will do that. So that, and I think for that one, let me go ahead and show you. I think I'm going to continue with the bunnies. And I'm going to use this paper pack. It's watercolor birthday paper from Crafty Stamp Co. And I've already cut into some, but I'm going to tell you this paper is beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's birthday prints, and then the back side, you've either got watercolor or you've got glitter paper. So this one you got like the blues, pinks, and purples and blues all together, and then you've got this watercolor is more blues. And let me see here. Let me see what the back of that may be. You got more glitter. Oh, and then you got like a green blue background. So let me go ahead and get started on the next one. Okay, so I've gathered a few materials. I don't have everything cut out and ready for this one because I had prepared the other one, but I wasn't sure if we'd get to this one or not, so I hadn't prepared it. But here are some of the papers I'm going to use. So I am pulling papers from, oops, I got glue on that. I'm pulling papers. This one's from the black and white birthday, and then this one is from the, I can't remember what it's called, watercolor birthday, I think. I took some of these comes taken apart, and then some I took apart, but I think this one comes without being glued together. So this is the watercolor birthday. So, and I will link below to enlist everything that I'm using. So I've cut a piece of cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4. I've cut a stitched rectangle. I don't even know what size this one was. I just kind of eyeballed what I thought would look good with this little bunny. So it's about 2 1/4, and I cut another one out of the watercolor paper at 2 1/4 as well. So I haven't cut these yet, and then I want to find a pencil here, I think, to kind of match the colors in this. And then for my splatters, I'm not sure which color to go with. I'm going to have to, I think it's this one right here we're going to go with. Either one would work with the paper because you can see both's in there, but for his hat, this one's probably going to be the closest. So what I want to do first is I want to figure out where I want this little bunny. I think I'm going to have him about right in here, but I want to ground him a little bit, so meaning have him where he's standing on something. So I thought I would bring in the blue and see what that looked like. Like I said before, if we mess this up, this is just coming out of my scrap bin. So I want to use my Gamsol with my colored pencils to just smooth out that a little bit. And it might need to add a little bit more color there. I'm just doing a little bit at a time because it's easier to add than take away. So I'm just going to smooth that out. We just want a little bit more, I think. Just want to do it lightly. I don't want it to be too much there. Which end was I using? This end. And now I may have put too much, so let's spread that out just a little bit. And then he would be standing there. That may be a bit much for him. We'll see. That's looking okay. We'll let it dry and we'll see what it looks like. While it's drying, I want to add a little bit more to this white piece as well. And I'm thinking about coming in with these stamps here. Thinking about coming in with these. I want to test them on a piece of scrap paper first. These little spiral confetti-like stamps. Let me find my small stamping block. Let's just test one and see what it looks like. I think I'm going to do them in, let's just test it real quick. Let's do it in, should we do it in blue or black? Are we getting too much blue on here? I'm trying to find my black ink pad first, and we'll try it with the black and see what it looks like. And then we can try blue and see, and then we can decide. So this is what black looks like. That's one of them. And then this is the other one. So you almost need to color those in. Actually, I think I'm going to change what I did. I think I'm going to recut this, because I think trying to cut these out is going to be too hard. I'm going to recut that. We're going to try one more time. Okay, let's try this again. So I want to, which direction does that look? I really like this one. I think I'm just going to do this one. And maybe I'll do different directions. Let me see what it looks like, different directions. I think I'll mix it up. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this first. And I'm going to try something. Just stamp there. And maybe here. Do things in threes. And then we're going to have him standing in there. So does it need to be another one? I'm thinking we need one up here, maybe like this. And maybe even, now I'm getting way more than I planned, but we'll see. Okay, and so I'm going to color that in, but I think I'm going to pull out my alcohol markers instead. I'm going to see if I can find a color that goes good with his hat, because I did color his hat in with these markers, but I don't remember which one I used. That looks close, so let's just try this and color those in. I am just going with the flow today. I am not planning ahead. Kind of had an idea in my head, like the actual pieces that I wanted to use, but that's as far as I've gotten. I just think it's fun to hang out and craft. And, you know, if you're new to crafting, seeing someone's process, it always helped me to see people's process, just to see what they're thinking and how they work through this, because you can't get in your head when you watch a lot of YouTubers that, oh, they knew from the get-go what they were doing and their card comes up perfect every time. You don't actually see a lot of times how many tries they do, or you know, all the mistakes they made. And that wouldn't be fun to see all the time, because you kind of go for inspiration. Sometimes I think it's good to see the process. So I like seeing the process anyway when I watch others. So let me see here. I'm gonna I am just going to do a little bit of shading. Not a lot, because it's so small. I'm going to mess up if I ain't careful with my shaky hands. And you're not going to see it much because he's going to cover up a lot of those. I'm just adding a little bit of shading where they cross over. Maybe that adds a little dimension to it. These would be cute cut out and just glued to it as well. But I just don't think I could do that today. I don't think my hands are steady enough today for all that. So let me just get this. And my marker is almost too wide to fit in here, so I got to be real careful. Okay, there they are. I think those are cute. So then we're going to put him here. I really need a light blue. How about this one? Oh, that's the pale one. That would be good. I just want to ground him a little bit on something. So let's see what that looks like. Kind of like a shadow underneath him to give him somewhere to stand, you know. Let's do there. That's kind of cute. I think that'll work. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this paint. And this is really old paint. If it doesn't work, we're going to have to use this color. I'm just going to try it and see. Okay, so let's just add a little bit of paint on my block here. Don't need much at all. And I'm going to have to clean my brush real quick. Okay, so just add a little bit of water to the blue. Okay, and you're just going to, I may have added too much. I may have to add a little bit more paint. Get that watered down though. Oops, I'm not even on camera with that. I'm just stirring it in. Okay, with my paintbrush. And then I'm just going to add splatters. And oh, we were going to do these splatters differently. But I got to think how to do that. I can't remember. I've never tried it. Let's just try it with our finger. Let's just try and see if we, yes, just smacking. Okay, and then we'll come back in with actual splatters and see. We're going to see what this looks like when it dries. I think some of these are going to be covered anyway because I haven't laid out the card yet, but I like that big splatter. Maybe we need a, I probably am doing this wrong, but I wanted that to splatter. That's not enough to, there we go. I'm trying to get those splatters. Let me hold it up to you so you can see. I'm trying to get those edges there where it sticks out. And I'm just playing today. I mean, this is no technical techniques. I'm just playing and seeing what I can do. And they make stamps that do this too. But don't worry about this because this is going to be covered up, I'm pretty sure. I was just trying to get the splatters there. You see those little fine lines in there? I like that. And I'm sure there's other ways to do that as well. I'm going to dry it and then I'll be right back. This is pretty much dry, and I thought about it while I was looking at it. I'm thinking for both of these pieces, and if I mess them up, like I said, we're using scraps. We'll always just cut more. I'm going to use some of this black and add some black splatters as well. I don't think there's enough water on that black, but I'm going to add some black splatters as well, and I think I'm going to add some to this as well. Okay, there's the black. I don't want to add too much, and then I'm going to add a few black splatters here just to get rid of some of that stark white. Okay, there we go. That may be a bit too much, but so let's see. I'm gonna dry those and then we'll come back and layer everything up. So I'm going ahead and while this is still drying a bit, I'm going to go ahead and cut my paper. So I'm thinking I want this about 2 inches. I have no idea. I'm just kind of coming up with this as I go along. So it's just kind of my process. So I think I want about 2 inches. We shall see. I'll lay it on there and that's how I decide, and I'll trim it down as I go. And I'm going to bring in this piece of black, and I think I want it to be closer to a 1/2 inch, which I can never get that straight. So let's hope I do this right. Okay, and then we'll cut it to 5 1/4. And all of these measurements may change as I go along because, like I said, this is just a process as I go through creating. So sometimes I prep ahead of time and I know everything that we're going to do. Other times I'm just playing, and that's today. We're just going to play today. So I like that together there. what color background would I want for this card? Will I want it on white or black? I'm not sure yet. So we'll just glue it up and then we'll make a decision then if what kind of background we want. If we need to, we can add something else. So I kind of like this. And so you can see the splatters, the ones that didn't do so well, they're hidden anyway. But I'm just going to start gluing this up because, well, let's lay it out first because we never know. So I'm thinking kind of turn that to an angle. And then this will be, I don't remember what was right side up for this, kind of like that. Let's see, let's slide that over there. Oh, where are we going to put our sentiment? We do need a sentiment. Let's think about that. Could put one across the bottom here. Do we add another layer for that? Should I do a banner? Should I do a banner? That might be cute to have a banner there. Thinking about this little white banner here. And then I will stamp. But will it fit? You know what? I didn't even measure to see. If it doesn't, there's other sayings that will fit. Barely fits, but we could try it. So I'm going to stamp it real quick. I've never stamped this one either. So this is a new stamp set for me. So I'm just going to test it out first till I get it like, I like to figure out, first off, stamp it and get it going. But also I like to figure out how much pressure to give. Because, you know, certain letters and things and certain stamps will spread out. And so I just want to make sure I get it right. Make sure I hold it right. Let's see here. Keep testing it till I get it exactly like I like it. So let's take and try it on this banner. We can always cut another one if it's not correct. I like being able to double stamp it, but it's hard to put this little banner in the stamping platform. Ooh, that looks really good. I did really good with that. I can tell that I'm happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer this card up. So I'm going to lay it out one more time. And I know one of my pieces is hanging over. This one's hanging over a little bit. I'm just going to trim it off once I glue it down. So it's really important to me that I cover up part of that splatter. I don't want the whole splatter showing, which it probably would be okay to show that much. But I kind of like it being cut off some. So that's what I'm going to do. So I want to glue this piece down first since that's important to me to have that covered. I have got to, after this video, maybe after this one, I need to stop and clean up my craft room just a little bit so I can make another video or another craft because it's gotten kind of chaotic. Because what I'm doing is as I'm making it, I'm thinking of these ideas and I'm pulling out these dies and then I've got a pile of things laying over here and I don't know where everything's at now. So I need to really put everything away again so it'll be easier. I know a lot of people say that they, I watch some crafters and they say that they clean up after every project. I just can't do that. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I try to clean up at the end of the day if I've been working in my craft room all day, or the next morning I'll get up and try to clean it up so I can start fresh. Like today, it started, well, no, I'll be honest, I've forgotten. It did have a pile over here beside me today because I've forgotten about that. So I didn't start fresh today. A lot of days I do, but I just jumped right in today. I didn't clean up. I probably should have. It probably would have made things a little better. So that's just hanging over a little. So I'm just going to bring it in here and trim it off. It's not going to hurt anything. And I can always just trim a little bit off right here so that everything lines up. Only thing is, the thicker it gets, the harder it is to trim it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so then I'm going to layer this. I did have a little bit larger square I could have put, and then maybe I'll use that as a diamond like that, and then like this, and then put him there. That might be even cuter. But we didn't add as many layers to this one. We did more of the splattering, but I don't know, does it need more layers? I think that's cute. Okay, so let's just add the bunny first because we want to make sure he's standing on that little shadow so that he has a place to ground him so that he's not just floating. Which I guess he could be floating. Bunnies could be hopping up in the air. I love those little, I guess it's called confetti, little streamers. I think that's what's called, streamers. I love those. Those are really cute. I didn't even realize those were in the stamp pack until I got to looking at it the other night after I stamped out the bunnies, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's more. Okay, so now I'm gonna, is that hanging over there? No. Okay, so then we're just gonna put him on this piece here. Now, do we want to be neat about it and just do a diamond, or do we want to be wonky? Okay, so I think I'm just gonna layer it up like that as a diamond shape because I can't decide, so I think that's how I'm gonna do it. It's just one card. It shouldn't be that hard to decide. I want this to the top though. I want the darker part to the top. And then I'm going to make sure that is touching on the edge there, and there we go. And then we'll put this little guy on. I'm just trying to stay kind of within those little dots because the glue oozes out of those stitches sometimes. And then I'm just going to add him right here. Okay, and then we'll add our sentiment, and I just need to chop it off. I like to use my little trimmer here because it's straighter than when I use scissors. I want to kind of have the same distance there. Let's see how that looks. There we go. I think that's really cute. There's a lot going on this card. It's kind of the theme today, I think, for me. There we go. And then we just have to decide if we're going to put this on a white card base, it's going to be white, so do we want to add like some black behind it, or there's gray. Okay, so I'm pulling out a few things here. I tried this silver that's on here, which I kind of liked it. So then it made me think, what about the blue in the other paper pack, the blue glitter? And I really like that. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. We can try, let me try, oops, I have got such a mess. Let me try the black, because that may look good too. Ooh, that black looks good too. So now I have to decide, do I want to go with the black? It brings out this black and this black. Or do I want to go with the blue? Is that going to be too much blue? Let's go with the black because that blue and that blue is different. I do think the black. So let me cut this down. Oh, goodness gracious, Susan. The paper packs from Crafty Stamp Co. do not come glued together anymore. So you still, the papers will be look the same. It is the quality is just as good. It's the same quality, but I think it's probably even better quality. I'm not sure. But because they did change some things. But these are some older pads I have that are the glued together ones, and I think most now, well, there are still some in the shop that are glued together until they run out, and then they'll start the ones that are individual sheets. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down. What was this one for? Actually, this may need to be trimmed down. Is this 4 1/4? Uh-oh, I have made a mistake. I cannot, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to trim it down to, I should have made that 4. So I'm just going to trim this side down to 1/8 of an inch off, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. And then this side, I'll do 1/8 of an inch. This is what happens when you just don't really plan ahead. I think I did a 1/16 there. Let's see if that would be enough to frame it out with the black. So that's about 4. Let's just do it. Let's just go 4. And then, I didn't think about that when I was laying everything out. I probably would have cut my strips a different size, but that's still looking good. I'm not upset with it. Okay, so then we'll do 4. If this is 4, we'll do this one 4, and do we want any white to be framing it out later? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I'm just going to go 4 1/4. Nope. Yes, yes. By 5 1/2. So this don't have a half on it, but I know that this is 6-inch paper. So what I'm going to do is just cut a 1/2 inch off, and it would be 5 1/2. Make sure that's right. So 6 inches. Yes. Had to think my math there for just a second. There we go. I think that's going to be really pretty together. So I'm just going to add that. I'm trying to find my glue. Now this glitter paper does not have glitter. It doesn't have texture. It's just a glitter print. So there's no glitter that's going to come off on anyone. And it's just a print. It's not actual texture or anything to it. A lot of companies do that now. They have these glitter papers like this, and I like them. Okay, so that one's got the glue there. I'm going to have to pull that off. I'm trying to line everything up so it ain't so crooked. Okay, so that is that card. Now I just need to add it to a white card base, but it won't frame it out since it's going to be the exact same size as the card base. So it'll pretty much look like this when it's added to the card base. And then here is our, oops, I thought the bunny's done come loose. This is another bunny. I didn't realize I still had this bunny too. I could have used that one, but I'll have to do another card later. And so this is the first card. I really love how these turned out. They're different than what I normally do because I don't normally add all these splatters and things, but I've really gotten into creating backgrounds. And so this one though is combining your decorative paper and the backgrounds, but I thought it was fun today. So here's our layers and splatters cards. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed seeing me create these cards today, and hopefully it's inspired you to go play in your craft room and just try something new. That's what I've been doing lately, is sometimes I get in a little crafting rut, and so I'm like, okay, I need to try something new. And these are some things that I've been wanting to try for quite some time and just hadn't got around to it. So I really had fun creating these cards, and I hope that you had as much fun watching them. Let me know below, do you like splatters, and what do you think about this splatter technique with just using your finger? That is an interesting technique. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.